Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am here with APHROMOO to talk about the win that CLG was just able to acquire up against Echo Fox. How are you and the CLG boys feeling after that victory?
We're all right. It was it was an okay 2-0. Had some unlucky decisions, mainly in team fights and setting up for like objectives that we're going for. So I think we're known for like getting ace and still winning the game, but you know, shit.
It's the win that still matters, right? The W on the screen at the end of the game, that's what we're all concerned about. That's what all the CLG fans are happy to see you guys walking away with. And now last week, we heard from XMITHIE. He was saying that the team is making a lot of excuses for why the wins aren't showing up. What are you guys, as a team, as a group, doing to address those problems and fix those issues so you can keep finding these wins?
Excuses-wise, I don't think there's a lot of that, but obviously you'll have something to blame, blah, blah, blah. But it's just making sure that we are coming together and being consistent since, you know, we know that we can be there, and it's just about being consistent for us.
And in terms of consistency, that's one thing that's really interesting to talk to, especially about the CLG roster, because you guys are one of the only rosters that was just like, no, we're sticking with the same 5 guys. We're going to be rolling with this into the next split. We think we can make this work. How do you feel that you guys are doing in terms of getting that level of consistency to the point where it is just game after game after game? Do you feel like you're closing in significantly on breaking new ground with that and becoming one of those like rock solid types of teams?
Yeah, definitely. That's what every team aspires to be, especially us. And upcoming for playoffs, I think if we win win Sunday, we'll definitely be in playoffs, something like that. But it'll be fun, and I do expect us to do a lot better than what the entire season so far has shown.
All right, speaking of playoffs, I got one last question for y'all. Heading to playoffs, obviously the goal here. Next week, you guys, well, not next week, I should say 2 days from now, this week, you guys are going to be going up against FlyQuest, the team that you are very, very close with in the standings. Okay. How do you feel about that one? Is there any special prep going into that? Anything you can share with us about the CLG approach to the FlyQuest game on Sunday?
I think me personally, I hate playing FlyQuest only because High always makes super aggressive calls. And usually, shot calling wise, I think High and Mata have only been the ones to give me a hard time, only because they always make you decide between doing this or doing that. And it's after every time they reset from the base, they instantly decide to do something. So usually that's pretty mind boggling and takes a toll, especially in the long series. But I expect it'll be fun.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in that mental battle, my friend. To you and to the entire squad from CLG, congratulations on the win today. Best of luck on Sunday, and we're going to go ahead and throw things over to the analyst desk now.
Thank you very much, Captain Flowers. A battle of the shot callers to come on Sunday. It's a nice little tee up there, and it's always wonderful to hear about how High can stretch people around the match. But today is about CLG crafting a 2-0 victory over Echo Fox. Again, not in the cleanest of fashions, but they do manage to pull it all together and kind of continue their climb here at the later stages of the season.
I kind of tend to agree with APHROMOO. This was an okay 2-0. I mean,
yes, exactly.
They did not dominate, right? And CLG is always one of those teams. They have super high highs, but they have some pretty low lows. You know, he's like, oh yeah, we're the team that gets ace but still wins the game. I mean, it's rare to see a team that can come back from that, but you always kind of have to think, hey, how good would they look if they clean that stuff up? If they're not getting double killed in a 2v2 randomly at the start of the game.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. 4:45 into the game, once again, Echo Fox 2-0. In the bot lane here. And again, we talk about just the comparison of these two bot lanes on paper. People were talking about APHROMOO STIXXAY #1 bot lane coming into the split.
I mean, STIXXAY was talking about that. And I mean, Afro, this was not okay. Like, I think, yes, like the hook is fine. Okay, it looks funny because he misses by a lot, but
you're picking a direction.
And I mean, the fact of the matter is, you should realize that you're going to lose this fight, and you should be flashing out early. STIXXAY, I mean, obviously he thought he was out of range of the volley there, but if they very quickly back into this fight, yes, it's bad for their lane as far as giving up farm and giving up CS, but giving up 2 kills like that is not okay.
Exactly.
I mean, and when you're playing against a better team, you don't get to come back from that, right? Like if you give that up to C9, usually the game just ends because your bot lane gets so far behind. Echo Fox was able to get not only both the bot lane turrets off that, then go mid and get a turret too, right? Like if you you give that kind of a lead to a better team, you lose, period.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's the major point there, is the fact that the recovery becomes a lot less possible as you move up the standings and when we get into the playoff picture and you're playing in a best of 5 against C9 and TSM, teams that are not going to afford you as many opportunities to claw your way back into it, like Echo Fox will. And we saw that happen 19 minutes into the game. Ace in favor of CLG, 5 for 1 around the Dragon Pit here.
And one thing I gotta give a lot of credit to SMITHIE for is I can't think of another player who has stolen more objectives throughout the year.
Even in this game, he was going off.
He seems to be stealing Barons and Dragons all the time, and HUHI, with some pretty sweet play on the Talon, actually looked super good this game. I think across the board, he was playing very, very well. And it was one of the first times I actually saw the Talon, I was like, damn, that pick makes sense. That worked. That, like, you know, it worked. It looked really good.
Absolutely, yeah. And so this is what you were talking about, though, this ability to claw back into the game. Of course, it's not like that right there was the game ender. We've got to move forward to 28-20 here. Fox wins the fight. Dying at Baron, though, you know, this was all kinds of crazy.
The weird thing about this one for me was that CLG had HUHI take 2 turrets, and he was on the inhibitor. CLG's 4-man squad just needs to disengage while HUHI takes that inhibitor or try to delay them. Instead, they decide to collapse to the fight. They're on a different page. HUHI's in by himself. Like, they're going very disjointed into this fight. So, you know, to me, I think that A, they shouldn't have taken the fight probably in the first place, and B, when they did, it was not very well done. That said, most players are going to remember how this next part went.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, but these are some of the mistakes that you're saying that still exist with CLG, and we want to see them, you know, kind of fix those minor errors in terms of, oh, there's not a whole lot of communication clearly on this engage, but this an even larger issue.
Yeah, I mean, everyone stacks up essentially here. They are pretty low from that fight, which is the major issue. DARSHAN is full health coming back into this, and the overheating flame spitter that he gets off is just so punishing to these people in the backline. He takes out multiple members. He's able to get so much damage done, and not only does he end up getting a quadra, but SMITHIE just wanders on in and smites the Baron away. And I mean, yes, the game did not end off this play, but the game was over.